Hi, Pam. Hello. Hi, everyone. So thank you for joining me on Instagram. I'm sorry, Facebook, but I don't know what else I can do. Thank you. I do need that. Just breathe. What an absolute cluster. Anyway, so thank you for joining me here live. I am thrilled to be with you on Instagram and recording on Zoom. I'm sorry, anybody who went to join on Facebook. I don't know what to tell you. For some reason, they won't let me access it. Nothing in my world has changed, but hey ho. So let's let that go and focus on why we're here. So we are here this evening to share with you Jag's cat chakra cleanse. Hi, Erin. And if anybody has capacity to go onto the Naturally Cats Facebook page, where there is a post about tonight, either of Jag or in one of his pictures, if somebody could maybe write something, I don't know if you can, and share that we can't unfortunately be live on Facebook, I would really appreciate it. So Jag's mum, Keo, came to me because he was, let me get my feedback form up, my intake form. Thank you, Therese. I'm really grateful, my love, for your help. She came to me because Jag was over grooming on the front of his arms. So up here, okay, so up here, which is unusual for a cat because usually it's around their tummy, the lower half of their tummy, and the inside of the back of their legs. He was very anxious and fearful of noises, and the intention that she set for the energy work was to clear negative energy, allow for complete healing of past trauma, identify current needs for good energy balance. So when I work with a cat and their guardian, there's an intake form to complete, and it's about 15 questions. Some of them are kind of general, is the cat on any medication, having any treatments? But the last question, besides the declaration and signing it type thing, is I ask the guardian to set an intention. So I believe that when you're doing energy work, particularly, it's important to set an intention. It's important to be clear about what you're doing with this energy. So, let's not go into this too much because I'm desperate to share with you Jag's experience. But, we create energy all the time. Okay. When you feel an emotion, you're creating energy. When you exercise, you create energy, creating it all the time. So it's really important when you come to balance energy, when you come to shift energy, when you come to unblock energy, that you set an intention, because you've got to give that energy somewhere to go. Oh, thank you, Emma. I'm so grateful for people adding comments on Facebook. I will do an apology post later. What else can I do? So the intention from Kia was to help Jag to feel balanced, okay? And to, I think from her perspective as well, to understand why he was over grooming, what was kind of causing this reaction on the top of his arms, what was going on there. Now, if we think about the position of what's going on, so when people come to me and their cat's got a very obvious physical issue, I always look at where in the body. So like I said, if it's general over grooming, which is like lower half of the tummy, that's usually around the sacral space, which is around the cat not being able to express themselves, or around the roots and not feeling safe. So it's quite curious that his was up here. So what chakra is up here? This is the heart, obviously, in the throat. So I had a bit of an idea, I never fully know what's going to happen with the chakra cleanse. I never fully know what tools I'm going to use, how the cat's going to work with me, what they need, how I can support them until I actually do it. So with Jag, with any cat, I have their picture on my screen in front of me, and I always ask for permission to work with them, to feel into their energy and to connect with them. So generally what happens is I have something called initial impressions. So that is where I get a bit of a kind of a monologue from the cat. They usually gush quite a lot and tell me a lot. They speak a lot. It's like a communication session. And then after that, we will have a bit of dialogue, so a bit of to and fro, and then we go into the cleanse and shift in energy and the chakras. So Jag was like no other chakra cleanse I've experienced. So I do probably say that about every single one, because every single one is different, but they are different in different ways. They share new things with me, or they use different tools, or I'm awakened in some way. And with Jag, he was the first one, the first cat that shared with me his soul name. Now, if you'd have told me a few years ago when I was in my corporate job, or back when I was doing my psychology degree, that I would be sat here saying to you, I spoke with a cat and he told me his soul name, I probably would have laughed in your face. But this is what happened. And my duty of care for the mission of giving cats a voice is to have him be heard. So I'm truly grateful, before we get started, that Kia gave me permission to share this with you all. You'll hear as we go through, it's a very personal treatment, having a chakra cleanse with me and the cat. So let me get into it and tell you more about what he had to say. So he said, "You're here. I don't have to hold it anymore." There was a real sense of like weeping. So this is a static picture on the screen, but because I'm an empath, okay, I can sense and feel, and I have a sense of knowing what's going on. He said, "It's all been so stuck. We've had so much sorrow. I haven't been able to fully love with all that I am until now. It's all got stuck." And by that, he means the energy. He said, "I've been trying to shift it, but it's hard." And he meant like it was dense and like rooted. It was like a stone, like stuck. And he said, "But you can help me, yes?" And of course I said, "Yes, sweet boy." And he said, "It can go forever." And I said, "Yes." Then he needed a piece of rainbow quartz. Now, rainbow quartz has, all the colors, like quartz has all the colors in it, but rainbow quartz is, you've got additional kind of energy in there. And when I looked up rainbow quartz, I've got basically, I don't know if you, the big box here, that's full of crystals. So I've probably got about 50 maybe. And I am that OCD that like orange crystals are in an orange bag and green crystals are in a green bag, because I'm drawn to them in an easier way. So I went to the box. That's the crystal that he picked. I looked into it. Rainbow quartz dispels static energy, brings balance to the body, and it helps with a deep soul cleanse. Sorry, one second. Top my squash up. I get so thirsty doing these. I think it's all the energy shifting. So he picked a crystal that was all around a deep soul cleanse. So, that's kind of a bit of an inkling as to what's going to happen in the session. And as soon as I held it, as soon as it was in my hands, I had shivers, which is energy shifting. And he said, "I need to feel it. I need to feel it shift. I need to feel it leave me." And I said to him, "We're in no rush." So I always carve out at least 90 minutes, if not 2 hours, when I do a chakra cleanse with a cat. I said to him, like, "We're in no rush, my love." And then he said, "I couldn't keep them. They left me. I felt so sad, so alone." There's like weeping as well, like real heaving emotion coming from him. He said, "I've been waiting for them to come back, but I guess they aren't." So I said, "No, darling, your family now is your love. You open up to them, feel and be with them." So what had happened was, basically, as you can kind of imagine from the words that he shared, he had been abandoned, and the humans that he knew as a kitten, they'd left and they didn't come back. And this is what had happened years ago. And this is what he was holding in his body, in his physical body. Then he shared a mantra with me. Now, when cats share a mantra with me, it's words that they need. So from a human perspective, like we talk about mantras, like, using positive affirmations and things, and, using words to feel better, to think better, etc. Now, when it comes to a chakra cleanse, it's words that the cat needs to anchor in this shift of energy. Okay, so they're not to be taken lightly, they're not to be dismissed, and they are to be used regularly. So in fact, I think he had a couple. One of his mantras was, through my love, you can heal. So basically, he needed Keo and the family, which I know that they do, to say to him, through our love, through my love, whoever's talking to him, you can heal. So by that, they're giving him permission to shift his energy. Now, not all cats need that, but in this instance, that's what he needed. If you think about the words that he used, he couldn't anchor in the fact that he was with this new family, with Keo and her family. He's waiting for the family from before. He's waiting for them to come back, and they haven't. So he said, it's them, as in like the current family are his family. And I said, yes, sweet boy, in the now is where you're meant to be. And he said, in the now. And that indicated that he was quite a young soul. So by this point, it was like he was confused. He didn't understand what this moment was. So I kind of explained about how, energy moves and, souls grow and evolve, and we've got lessons, etc. And how love is underneath the core of all of that. And he said, but I've been so stuck back then, back there. And I said, yes, but not from today. Today, you can shift it. Don't get stuck. You're in the now. And he was like, oh, okay. There was a real sense of confusion. Then I used a clear quartz chakra pendant. And as soon as I held the clear quartz, I experienced Jag trembling and yowling. So it was like there was this big energy release, this big kind of like, if you've got a tap that you're kind of trying to get the water moving and it's clogged up for some reason, and when you open it, it sort of splutters and then all shoots out. I thought it was Baby Max. That's what happened. And then when he had this release, I'm free writing as this is all going on. Okay, so I'm experiencing it, I'm feeling it, not fully conscious of it all until I go back and review it. But I'm sort of free writing, and I wrote this word down. And I kind of was a bit kind of jaggedy with my hand, and it just kind of came out. And the word was Amenfeny, Amenfeny. I had no idea what it meant, no idea what it means when I was there in that moment, but I wrote it down because I'm writing down everything that comes through. And then he said, you see me? And I said, yes, and I can feel you. Thinking, we've already had this part of the conversation, like what has shifted all of a sudden, because now it feels like there's a different connection. And he said, I can connect. And I said, yes. And then because I write like the initials of who's talking so I can transcribe it and give it to the Guardian. And I'd written an A for Amenfeny. And he said, I can let go. I can let go. And then there was crying. So I'm sat here crying when I was doing this with him, releasing the energy, and so crying is a huge shedding of energy, huge shift. I had a crystal in each hand. And he said, I can breathe. I can be present in this body now. And then I saw like this beautiful, beautiful being. It wasn't like an angel with wings or anything. It was just, I don't really know how to explain it. It was a beautiful being of light. It wasn't fully defined. It wasn't like this thing appeared in my room with me, but it's what I saw, what I could sense, what I could feel. And he said, I am ready to expand, to shed, to heal. Now I am ready. And what happened here is that it felt like a very different connection. I felt like I was dealing with a different being. And again, this doesn't make logical sense to me. And my logical brain struggles at times. I'll be completely honest with you. My left brain or right brain, whichever it is that's logical, like someone was telling me this, I'd be like, oh my life. But I experienced it. This is what he wanted. So this is what happened. The soul, the connection with him was so deep. Like I wasn't just looking at a cat on my screen. I don't know how to articulate it using human words. It felt like there was a soul in me talking to the soul on this screen. That's the only way I can explain it using human words. It was a very, very profound moment. It was one of those moments where I realized that my work is very impactful, very deep, very raw. And I think it's probably the moment where I realized that everything I've been saying about cats is now coming to life. They are souls, they are beings in a body, and this connection that I had with Jag, or as he asked me to call him throughout the rest of the session, Amenfeny, was phenomenal. And I do feel truly honored, one, to have experienced this with him, and two, to be able to share it, because it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. So then he shared with me the words, again, kind of like a mantra, I see you. And this was about me seeing him as Amenfeny. This was about me being aware of his soul as Amenfeny. Oh, animal communication healing. Tears when you speak of this beautiful being. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. Okay, so then I said to him, are you ready to go on to your chakras? Are you ready for healing? He said, yes, let's. So we started with the root. And what happened with our session is he gave me like before and after, which was like before, when we had the talk, when he was holding all this dense energy, when all this emotion was stuck in him, to the after, which is when he was Amenfeny, when he'd had this shift, when he'd had this realization that he could move and let go of this hurt and trauma. So like before, it was small, it was dark, it was stuck, it was stagnant. Excuse me. And now it was glowing, flowing, throbbing, and sparkling. Absolutely beautiful. All the old energy was falling away. It was truly lovely. And then he said, when I shed, I can see her, he means Keo, his guardian. Her heart is so pure, open, willing. Her soul is stuck, but she is open. She sees me. She has felt my pain. She has recognized my sorrow with a sense of familiarity. She also needs to let go of the past, of the pain, to feel and be free. I have shed, and so can she. Beautiful words for his guardian. I have this a lot when I'm working with the cats. They have so many messages for the guardians. So I said to him, do you need anything here? And he said, not in terms of healing. So he didn't need crystals or anything else here. Not in terms of healing, just for you to feel it, to feel me, feel my energy, feel my soul, the essence, enjoy. So it's like, oh, wow. So, this cat sitting on my screen wants me to feel him. It was beautiful. And he said, I am now safe. I am now love. I am now healed. And it was flowing, peaceful, moving, and buoyant. And that's when I kind of checked in and was like, are we Jag or Amenfeny? And it just wasn't even a question. The essence, the energy that I felt, this connection, was completely bold and beautiful. So then we went up to the sacral. So the sacral chakra is all around the cat sense of identity, the cat sense of being able to be the being that they are. So like every cat is different, every human is different. And the sacral chakra is around the sense of identity. So like Leo's sacral is because, when he's allowed to hide away and retreat and be slinky, Max's sacral chakra is around him being really open with cuddles, really loving, a bit quirky, So Amenfeny said it was closed, dark, blocked, affected and connected to the humans that came before. Their souls, their essence, still connected to me, but no more. I am ready to shed, to shift, to move. He means the energy again. And then there was such a sense of peace and calm in the now with him. And I've put here, now it is seen as Amenfeny, it feels different. Bear with me, I've got to read my writing. Yes, that's right. So what we ended up using when we used the clear quartz crystal, we used my pendulum, which I don't actually use with clients. But the reason that we used it is because on the pendulum there was a point at the bottom, and I've actually it's all clear quartz. There's a point at the bottom, and then there's an angel at the top. So it was no wonder that he wanted a being that was made basically of pure light to work with. And basically what happened was, before, all his chakras felt separate, like different little pockets of energy. But then when we used the crystal, they all came together, very much like his soul connection. So it was very united. It was throbbing, thriving, moving, shining, warm, balanced, and established. Yeah. So we used the pendulum, round ball on top, and the angel. And that was it. So again, we didn't actually need to do a lot of energy shifting here. He did it himself as he was heard by me, or seen by me. Okay, so then we switched picture. So this is happening pretty much now with every chakra cleanse that I do. So if you're a client of mine or you're considering having a chakra cleanse, please note that I will ask for a few pictures. So one picture is lovely, but actually what happens is, and I'm finding with all of the cats now, is that we will start with a picture which very much represents how they are, and then we'll shift to a different picture, which is how they are after we've done some work. So for example, a cat that I had today, which I'm hopeful I'll be able to share with you in a few weeks, the photo was of the cat looking up to the human. So they're kind of like, you're down with your camera like this. And what he needed was a lot of reassurance. So he's looking up to the humans for that reassurance. And then what happened after we shifted 3 of his blocked chakras, we switched to a different picture where he was all tucked under and like just sort of sat content on the sofa. So you see, regardless of a body language perspective, from an energetic perspective, they were different. And that's why I asked for a few photos. So we switched picture here to a much more content picture of him, which is actually the picture that you'd have seen on the social media post of him stretched out on the chair on the sofa. And he said, "I feel so healed. I feel me, my light, my being, my body, my energy, my essence. I didn't realize how detached I was or had become." By that, he means the detachment between his spirit, his body, and his soul. I didn't understand how the experience had shunted me out of the body. It shocked me. I have always been love, felt it, given it, received it. I didn't know this. I didn't know this could happen. Now I see. Now I see the lesson, the reason. Now I see it all. So what he shared here is that basically he had an abandonment trauma wound. This is what had caused the situation with him. This is what had caused this over grooming. This is why his heart and his chakra was blocked and shut down. This was why when I spoke to Keo, he would, get this, he would go and sit on her, like on her chest for like a second or two. And it was, she said to me, it's like he wants to cuddle or snuggle or like let go, but he can't quite do it. So he would always regularly go up to her, lie across her chest or on her chest for like a second or two, and then leave. And then she completed the feedback form for me, which she did a few hours after the session. And she's in the feedback form, she says, where is it? He did something he's never done before with me this afternoon. He leaned his head on my arm and just lay there for some time. It was wonderful and sweet. So what she'd messaged me separately and said that basically he came and lied where he normally would, but he was there for over an hour. So she knew, and again, we do know what goes on with them. We have this connection with our cats, and your intuition, your inner guidance, your inner knowing, not to be dismissed, peeps. And if you want to, it reminds me, we've got our soul circle next Wednesday. I've just had to extend the number of tickets because they all got fully booked. So we've now got 75 tickets. So if you want to come and join us for the free soul circle class on Wednesday, it's about strengthening your spiritual senses. So be sure to book your free ticket. So we all have the capacity to connect with our cats. When you have that sense and feeling that something's not quite right, don't dismiss it. That is your soul connection with them. So what happened with Amenfeny or Jag is that he was holding this abandonment trauma in his body. So I said to him, "What do you need here?" And he said, "Absolutely nothing at all. I am me. I am here. I am back. It is done. I am healed. I am well. I am all there needs to be." Which I thought was beautiful. So again, we've got an instance where, as they can, many of them can, cats can shift their own energy. And what he's saying here is that actually by me connecting with him, having that kind of monologue at the beginning, having him to have that moment, allowing him, sorry, to have that moment to have that soul awareness that he had this trauma, they're not coming back. He has to let that go. He was able to shift and come into this space where he is the being, the soul, Amenfeny in the body of Jag. Yes, Crystal Susan, of course, message me. Email me, info@naturallycats.co.uk. So you see, by having that shift, that is where he's able to move energy from. So now we went up to his heart space and he said, "It is now full, shining, open, healed. Thank you. I see now how it all goes together. The experience, the emotion, the impact, the change, the energy, the shift. I see it now. I was lost in the pain, the hurt, and the sadness, but no more. I am together, and now I move forward. Now I can feel into my mission to help her see," he means Kyo, "her beauty, her light, her essence, and how it needs to come together. Now I can help her see." So I said, "Do you need anything else, Tia?" And he said, Tell her she can be powerful. Tell her she can be open. She can shine. Tell her those thoughts, those feelings aren't to be ignored. Tell her it's okay to heal. Tell her who I am, Amenfeny." So just going back a second where he said, "I am together and now I move forward," what he meant there is the layers. So his soul has come back and reconnected with his body. His essence is there. He is more aware of who he is and why he is here. Okay. So again, beautiful messages for his guardian. And then we go up to the throat. So we're going quite, which way am I looking? We're going quite linear up through the chakras. So we get to the throat. So we've still got the third eye and the crown to do. Sorry if I'm a bit over pointing there. Instagram. We're up here. Got these to do. And he said, "We need not go further, for they are not detached." By that he meant that his chakras aren't separate anymore. They are all me, and I all them. I am healthy, well, and balanced since you brought me back together. He said that. My body, my soul, my spirit, I am now healed. I am now seen. I am Amenfeny. So I said to him, should they call you that? You know, should the guardians call you that? Because if this was me, if I was getting this feedback, the first thing I would say is, should we start calling him that? And he said, "Their words to me do not matter." And by that he means in terms of a name. "Their intention to love and connect with me is what gets my attention and awakens our connection. For words are human tools, bonds, if you will. The essence of the soul, the intention of the spirit is what connects me to them, is what calls me to them. And that is now open and ready. Thank you." So I said, do you need anything else? Any protection or any grounding? He said, no, I am whole. I am healed. I am Amenfeny. There you have it, peeps. That was Jag stroke Amenfeny's cat chakra cleanse. So I tell you, I've really had all sorts from, oh, who sticks in my mind? Oh, beautiful Milo, poorly Milo. But very aware he is taking on those sicknesses and illnesses to help his guardian grow. To Grace, who was blind and used color cards to tell me how her chakras felt before and after we worked to move the energy. I'm so blessed, so blessed to be able to have this gift and to share it with you all. And again, I say thank you, a huge thank you to all the guardians that give me their permission, the permission to share this, to read out what their cats say and share an experience, because it is a very personal, very personal treatment. And if you've got a problem with your cat or you'd like to reconnect with your cat, feel free to get in touch. You can message me. We have an autoresponder on. I'm trying to get to things as much as I can. Best way to do things now is to email me. So info@naturallycats.co.uk, and I'll see if I can help. You know, I can't offer free advice, but I can tell you if I think I can help. And what I would say is, you know, from my perspective, yes, you can do supplements and you can look at diet and nutrition. Don't get me wrong. That is, diet and nutrition is, you know, is a key pillar of health, really. But there is something to be said for the energy and the emotion. It's almost like that's the foundation under all the other stuff. You know, it's like the food is important and their environment is important and their relationships are important, you know. But I think for me, the more I'm doing this, the more I realize that actually under all of that is emotion and energy. And if that's stuck or blocked or imbalanced, unbalanced, overactive, underactive, that's what makes a difference, you know. I had a lady last week who, again, I'm hopeful when I hear back from her that I'll be able to share the cleanse, like the full details. She said to me when we joined, because I work with the cat and then 24 hours I work with the guardian, I have the hour Zoom call. I had the hour Zoom call with her and she said to me, I knew you were working with him. And I said, okay, because people don't know what time I do the work. I only send an email after it's been done for signs to look out for signs of energy processing and emotion shifting to look out for. And she said to me, I know exactly when you were doing it. And I said, all right. She said, he was completely different. He was really cuddly, really loving. Then the next minute he was cuddled up with the other cat. She had all of this stuff that he's never done before. I just knew it. I knew you were working with him. And things like that make me happy. Things like that make me smile, because like I said to you all, you know, I've got a degree in psychology. I'm a qualified behaviorist. Like, I have the logical thing in me, you know. And it's almost like getting that feedback is really comforting, to know that it is making a big difference. It is impacting. And like I said, the more I do this, there are tears usually with guardians, which is great, as much as that sounds wrong, because it means there's energy and emotion moving in them. And that is also what giving cats a voice is about. It's about helping people to understand their cats, to reconnect with their cats, and to help everyone thrive, you know. So if you'd like to offer your cat a chakra cleanse, like I said, you can head to my website, www.naturallycats.co.uk. Check out the services. My primary service is really a cat communication sessions and chakra cleanses. What I would say, as you've seen from tonight, there are always messages for the humans in the chakra cleanse. So, you know, the cat communication is lovely and you can ask your 8 questions and get your answers. But with the chakra cleanse, you give them healing. You give them chance to shift and move energy, which I just think is beautiful. So I could talk, you know, for at least another half an hour or so. So I'm going to go. Thank you to everyone for, first of all, persevering with me at the beginning, silly Facebook, and for being here with me live. I really hope that you've enjoyed hearing about Jag and or Amenfeny. I've had a couple of cats since tell me their soul names. It's not something that I always ask. They generally volunteer it if they're comfortable doing so. And I am having more cats the more I work with them, tell me about their previous incarnations. So sharing with me that they've been with their guardians in a previous life. I had a couple last week. The cat had been the dad to the guardian. So, you know, they're not with us by chance, people. Absolutely not. And I believe that now more than ever. So go and find your fur babies, your cat companions, whatever you call them. Give them hugs, love, and kisses. Thank you for being here with me. Oh, thank you for your beautiful comments. I really appreciate you being here with me live, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening. I'm going to go and find my boys, and in fact, I think Leo's in his igloo, so I will just give him an eye kiss as I pass, and I'm going to go and find baby Max and see if he wants some cuddles. Take care, everyone. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.